Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, I want to talk about something that hits close to home for all of us. Picture this. You're scrolling through your phone, notifications buzzing, news headlines screaming, and everyone around you seems to be shouting for attention. On social media, at work, even in your personal life. It's like the world's running a race to be seen, to be heard, to be the loudest voice in the room. But here's the question. In all that noise, where's your focus going? Are you getting lost in the chaos, or are you finding your way back to what really matters, you? This is where Stoic philosophy comes in, and trust me, it's not some dusty old book of ideas. It's a lifeline for navigating our crazy modern world. Stoicism isn't about fighting to be the loudest or chasing likes and followers. It's about stepping back from the crowd, turning inward and building a kind of strength that nothing, no drama, no stress, no chaos can shake. In a world that's screaming for your attention, the most powerful thing you can do is stay silent, focus on yourself, and act with purpose. That's where real value lies, not in making noise, but in taking quiet, meaningful action. Let me share a quick story. A few years ago, I was caught up in that race. I was checking my phone every 5 minutes, stressing over what people thought of me, trying to keep up with every trend. It was exhausting. Then I stumbled across a quote by Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor who faced wars, betrayal, and chaos, yet stayed calm. He said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." That hit me hard. I realized I was giving my energy to things I couldn't control, other people's opinions, endless news cycles, when I should have been focusing on what I could control. My thoughts, my actions, my purpose. That's what Stoicism teaches us. It's not about isolating yourself or ignoring the world. It's about choosing where to put your energy. Think about it. How much time do you spend worrying about things you can't change? That coworker's snarky comment, a mistake from years ago, or what the future might hold. Stoicism says, let that go. Focus on what's in your hands, your discipline, your gratitude, your next step. That's where your power is. Here's a real-world example. Look at someone like Denzel Washington. He's not out there chasing headlines or posting every detail of his life. He's known for his craft, his discipline, his quiet focus. He once said in an interview that he doesn't waste energy on what people think. He pours it into his work, his family, his values. That's Stoic strength in action. It's not flashy, it's steady. It's not loud, it's powerful. So today, I'm beyond excited to share 7 Stoic principles that can help you live with strength, clarity, and calm, no matter how noisy the world gets. These aren't just ideas. They're practical tools you can use every single day to take back control of your life. Whether you're 25, navigating a new career, or 65, reflecting on what matters most, these principles will meet you where you're at. They are simple, but don't let that fool you. They are life-changing. Before we dive in, I want to ask you something to think about. What's one thing in your life right now that's pulling your attention away from what truly matters? Maybe it's a habit, a worry, or even a person. Drop it in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts, and I bet others will relate. And if this resonates with you, stick around, hit that like button, and subscribe because we're just getting started. These 7 Stoic principles are going to give you a roadmap to cut through the noise and build a life of purpose. Let's do this together. Ready for principle number 1? Hey there, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into the first of 7 Stoic principles to help you live with strength, clarity, and calm in this chaotic world. This one's a game changer, and it's all about controlling what you can. Let's face it, life is a whirlwind. From endless notifications to workplace drama to worrying about what tomorrow might bring, it's easy to feel like you're being pulled in a million directions. But here's the truth. Your focus is like the currency of your life. Where you spend it determines where your energy goes, and where your energy goes shapes your future. So let's talk about how to spend it wisely. The Stoics, those ancient philosophers who faced wars, betrayal, and uncertainty, had a simple but powerful idea. There are 2 worlds you live in. The external world, full of events, other people's actions, and things you can't control, and the internal world, your thoughts, your choices, your reactions. The external world, it's unpredictable, messy, and often unfair. You can't stop someone from cutting you off in traffic, change a mistake you made years ago, or control what your boss thinks of you. But the internal world, that's your domain. That's where your power lies. Stoicism teaches us that freedom, real freedom, starts the moment you stop chasing control over what's outside and start mastering what's inside. Take Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor. This guy ruled one of the biggest empires in history, dealt with betrayals, wars, and even a plague. Yet he stayed grounded. How? He focused on what he could control, his mind. In his journal Meditations, he wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." That's not just a quote, it's a wake-up call. When his advisors turned against him, he didn't waste energy on rage or self-pity. He chose how to respond, how to keep moving forward. That's Stoic strength in action. Let me share something personal. A while back, I got caught up stressing about a work project that went sideways. A colleague threw me under the bus and I was fuming, replaying it in my head, losing sleep. Then I realized, I can't change what they said or did, but I can choose how I show up tomorrow. I focused on doing my best work, staying calm, and letting my actions speak. Slowly, the anger faded and I felt in control again. That's the Stoic way. Focus on what's in your hands and let the rest go. Think about your own life. How much energy do you give to things you can't control? Maybe it's scrolling through social media, getting mad at a snarky comment, or worrying about what might happen next month. Here's a challenge. Next time you feel that pull, pause and ask, is this mine to carry? If it's not, let it go. That's not ignoring reality, it's choosing to be disciplined. It's saying, I'm not going to let this steal my peace. Instead, pour your energy into what you can do, show up, stay focused, be kind to yourself, make that one small step forward. Here's a modern example. Look at Oprah Winfrey. She's faced countless challenges, criticism, setbacks, you name it. But she said in interviews that her success came from focusing on what she could control. Her work ethic, her vision, her integrity. She didn't waste time fighting every critic or dwelling on what she couldn't change. That focus turned her into a powerhouse. You can do the same. You don't need to control the world, just your corner of it. So here's my question for you. What's one thing you're holding onto that you can't control? And what's one small action you can take today to reclaim your focus? Drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear your story, and I know others will too. If this hits home, give it a like, hit subscribe, and stick around for principle number 2. We're building a stronger, calmer you, one step at a time. Let's keep going. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. We're diving into the second Stoic principle today, and it's a powerful one. Meaning creates emotion. Life throws curveballs at all of us, rejections, failures, betrayals, and it's easy to feel like those moments control how we feel. But here's the Stoic secret. You don't control what happens to you, but you always control the meaning you give it. And that meaning, it's what shapes your emotions and ultimately your actions. Get this right, and you can turn even the toughest moments into fuel for growth. Let's break it down. The ancient Stoic philosopher Seneca nailed it when he said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." Think about that for a second. How often do we make things worse in our heads? You get a harsh email from your boss and suddenly you're spiraling, imagining you're about to get fired, that you're a failure, that everything's falling apart. But the reality, it's just an email. The pain doesn't come from the event itself. It comes from the story we tell ourselves about it. That's where Stoicism flips the script. It says, you're not a victim of your emotions, you're the author of them. Let's look at a real-life example. Imagine two people lose their jobs on the same day. One person falls into despair, thinking, I'm worthless, I'll never recover. They're stuck, replaying the loss. The other person feels the sting but reframes it. This hurts, but it's pushing me towards something new, maybe a better career, a chance to start that side hustle. Same event, different meanings, totally different emotions. The first person's trapped by their story, the second is empowered by it. That's the Stoic difference. It's not about denying pain, it's about choosing what it means. Seneca lived this principle. Exiled from Rome, stripped of his status and comfort, he could have cursed his fate. Instead, he saw exile as a chance to reflect, right, and grow. What others called punishment, he turned into purpose. That's not just philosophy, it's a battle-tested mindset. I've had my own moments like this. A few years ago, a close friend betrayed my trust. I was angry, hurt, ready to write them off forever. But then I paused and asked, what can this teach me? I realized it was a lesson in setting better boundaries and valuing my own peace. That shift didn't erase the pain, but it gave me power over it. I grew stronger, not bitter. Here's how you can apply this. Next time something tough hits, a breakup, a setback, a harsh comment, stop and notice the story you're telling yourself. Is it this always happens to me, or this is a chance to level up? Then rewrite the narrative. Ask, what could this mean that would make me stronger? What's the lesson here? And here's a pro tip, lean into gratitude. You can't be grateful and angry at the same time. Try this. When something goes wrong, name one thing it's teaching you or one opportunity it's opening. It's like flipping a switch in your brain. Take J.K. Rowling as an example. Before Harry Potter became a global phenomenon, she faced rejection after rejection from publishers. She was a single mom struggling financially and could have let those rejections mean she wasn't good enough. Instead, she chose to see them as tests of her persistence. Each no became fuel to keep writing, to keep believing in her story. That's the power of meaning. She turned pain into a legacy. So, I want to hear from you. What's a tough moment you faced recently, and how could you reframe its meaning to empower you? Drop it in the comments. Your story might inspire someone else. And if this resonates, hit that like button, subscribe, and stick around for principle number 3. We're building a mindset that turns challenges into strength, one step at a time. Let's keep going. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into the third Stoic principle, and it's one that separates the good from the truly great. Private discipline builds public power. In a world obsessed with likes, followers, and going viral, it's easy to think success is about being seen. But Stoicism flips that idea on its head. Real strength, the kind that lasts, isn't built in the spotlight. It's forged in the shadows, through quiet, consistent effort when no one's watching. Let's unpack this and see how it can change the way you show up in life. Think about Steph Curry, one of the greatest basketball shooters ever. His game-winning three-pointers look effortless, but they are not magic. They are the result of 15 years of grinding, shooting 500 shots a day, early mornings, late nights when no cameras were rolling. No one clapped for those sweaty gym sessions. But that private discipline, it's what made him a legend. The world sees the highlight reel, but the real story is the unseen work. That's the Stoic truth. What you do quietly, day after day, is what shapes your public power. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, put it perfectly. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. That's not just a catchy line, it's a call to action. Stop talking about who you want to be. Stop chasing applause or validation. Just show up, do the work, and let your results speak. In our culture, we're bombarded with pressure to perform, to post, to prove ourselves. But Stoicism says the opposite. Real strength doesn't need a megaphone. It's built in silence, through habits and character that no one sees but everyone feels. Let me share a personal story. A few years ago, I decided to get serious about my health. I wasn't posting gym selfies or telling anyone. I just committed to working out 3 times a week, no excuses. Some days I felt invisible, like it didn't matter. But over months I got stronger, more confident, and people started noticing. Not because I was shouting about it, but because my quiet discipline changed how I carried myself. That's the magic of this principle. When you focus on the work, not the spotlight, your character becomes magnetic. Contrast that with today's world. We're taught to chase attention, more views, more likes, more noise, but attention is fleeting. It's like sugar, it feels good for a moment, but it doesn't last. Respect, though, that's different. Respect is earned through consistent, quiet effort. It's what people feel when they meet someone who's grounded, who doesn't need to prove anything because their actions already do. Stoicism teaches us to prioritize that kind of depth over shallow validation. Take someone like Michelle Obama. She's a global icon, but her power doesn't come from chasing headlines. In her book Becoming, she talks about the years of quiet work, studying, raising a family, staying true to her values, that built her into the woman we admire. Her public presence is just the tip of the iceberg. Beneath it, years of private discipline. That's what makes her unstoppable. So, how do you apply this? Start small. Pick one thing. Maybe it's writing for 10 minutes a day, learning a new skill, or sticking to a morning routine. Do it quietly without needing anyone to notice. Ask yourself, what's one action I can take today that no one will see but that will make me stronger? That's where greatness begins, not in the applause but in the grind. The Stoics knew that growth doesn't need an audience, only ego does. I want to hear from you. What's one thing you're working on in private that's building your strength? Drop it in the comments. Your story might inspire someone else. And if this hits home, hit that like button, subscribe, and stick around for principle number 4. We're building a life of quiet power one step at a time. Let's keep going. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into the 4th Stoic principle, and it's one that hits deep. Self-esteem is earned, not given. In a world obsessed with likes, followers, and external validation, it's easy to think your worth comes from what others say about you. But Stoicism flips that script. Real confidence, the kind that sticks with you through life's ups and downs, isn't handed out like candy. It's built through effort, discipline, and quiet victories when no one's watching. Let's unpack this and see how it can transform the way you see yourself. The Stoics, like Marcus Aurelius, had a clear challenge for us. Stop looking outside for your worth and start earning it through your actions. He once said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." That's not just advice, it's a wake-up call. Instead of asking, "Why don't I feel good enough?" try asking, "What am I doing that makes me respect the person I see in the mirror?" That question shifts everything. It's not about waiting for praise or chasing approval. It's about showing up, doing hard things, and building a quiet pride in yourself that no one can take away. Let's be real. We've all fallen into the trap of seeking validation. I know I have. A couple of years ago, I was obsessed with getting feedback on a project I was working on. I'd check my inbox constantly, hoping for a pat on the back. But when the praise didn't come, I felt deflated, like I wasn't enough. Then I realized something. My worth wasn't in those emails. It was in the work I put in, the late nights, the revisions, the commitment to getting better. When I focused on that, something shifted. I started respecting myself, not because others saw my effort, but because I knew what I'd done. Here's the Stoic truth. Confidence isn't born from affirmations or compliments. It's a byproduct of competence, forged through consistent, meaningful work. Think about the moments you felt truly proud. It wasn't when someone said, "Great job." It was when you pushed through something tough, maybe sticking to a workout plan, finishing a project you doubted you could, or showing up for someone when it wasn't easy. Those quiet victories, the ones no one else sees, are the bricks of real self-esteem. They're proof you're enough, not because the world says so, but because your actions do. Take someone like Serena Williams. She's a tennis legend, but her confidence didn't come from trophies alone. In interviews, she's talked about the grueling hours of practice, the early mornings, the sacrifices, work she did when no one was watching. That discipline built her belief in herself. She didn't need the crowd's applause to know her worth. Her effort already proved it. That's what Stoicism teaches. Silence is power. When you do meaningful work without needing an audience, you forge a confidence rooted in who you are, not what others think. So, how do you start? Pick one thing that challenges you. Maybe it's learning a new skill, keeping a promise to yourself, or tackling a fear. Do it quietly, without posting or boasting. Ask yourself, what can I do today that will make me proud, even if no one notices? It could be as simple as writing for 10 minutes, saying no to a distraction, or helping someone without expecting thanks. Those small, silent acts build a foundation of self-respect that's unshakable. Here's my challenge for you. What's one action you can take this week to earn your own respect? Drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear, and I bet others will find it inspiring too. If this resonates, hit that like button, subscribe, and stick around for principle number 5. We're building a stronger, more confident you, one quiet victory at a time. Let's keep going. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into the 5th Stoic principle, and it's one that can shift how you approach your goals. Push versus pull motivation. We all have things that drive us, but not all motivation is created equal. Some fuels burn hot and fast, leaving you drained, while others keep you going for the long haul. The Stoics understood this, and they teach us how to find a deeper, more sustainable drive. One that doesn't just push you forward but pulls you towards something greater. Let's break it down and see how this can transform your life. First, let's talk about push motivation. This is the fire that comes from anger, fear, or wanting to prove someone wrong. Maybe you're grinding to escape a tough situation like a dead-end job or to show the doubters you're capable. It's powerful. Think of that surge you get when someone says, "You'll never make it." It lights a spark and you're off running hard. But here's the catch. Push motivation is like a sprint. It's intense, but it burns out. If you're running on anger or fear, you're fighting against something external, and that can leave you exhausted, even resentful. It's not built to last. Now, contrast that with pull motivation. This is when you're drawn forward by a sense of purpose, something bigger than yourself. It's not about escaping or proving. It's about creating, contributing, and aligning with what matters most to you. The Stoics believe this kind of drive makes you unshakable. Marcus Aurelius said, "A man's worth is no greater than the worth of his ambitions." If your ambition is just to win or one-up someone, you're tethered to their game. But if you're pulled by a mission that resonates deep in your core, you're free from comparison, free from needing to prove anything. Take Howard Schultz, the guy who built Starbucks into a global brand. He grew up in poverty, in public housing, driven at first by a push to escape that life. That fire got him started, but it wasn't what kept him going. Over time, he found a deeper pull, a mission to create a company that treated workers with dignity, offered benefits like healthcare, and built community through something as simple as a cup of coffee. That purpose didn't just fuel his success. It made his work meaningful, sustainable, and bigger than himself. That's the Stoic difference. Push is about resistance. Pull is about devotion. I felt this shift myself. Early in my career, I was driven by a need to prove I could make it. I'd stay up late, fueled by stress and a chip on my shoulder. It worked until it didn't. I burned out, feeling empty even after hitting goals. Then I started focusing on why I was doing it. To create something that helped others, to share ideas that mattered. That pull gave me energy that didn't fade. It turned discipline into something I wanted to do, not something I had to do. Here's how you can apply this. Start by noticing what's driving you. Are you being pushed by anger, fear, or a need to prove something? Those can kickstart you, but they won't sustain you. To find your pull, you need silence, time to listen to that quiet voice inside. Ask yourself, what do I want to create? Who do I want to serve? What makes my work feel like a calling? It could be as simple as being a great parent, building a business that solves a real problem, or mastering a craft that lights you up. When you align with that purpose, discipline stops feeling like a chore, it feels like devotion. Think of someone like Malala Yousafzai. She could have been driven by anger after surviving an attack for advocating girls' education. But instead, she's pulled by a mission to ensure every child has a chance to learn. That purpose keeps her going, even through threats and challenges. It's not about fighting against, it's about building toward. So, here's my question for you. What's pushing you right now? And what could pull you if you listen closely? Drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear your story, and it might spark something for someone else. If this resonates, hit that like button, subscribe, and stick around for principle number 6. We're building a life driven by purpose, one step at a time. Let's keep going. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into the 6th Stoic principle, and it's one that's both humbling and liberating. Accept who you are to grow beyond it. Growth doesn't start with pretending you're perfect or hiding your past. It begins with looking in the mirror, flaws and all, and saying, "This is me, and I'm ready to build from here." The Stoics knew that true strength comes from embracing your truth, not running from it. Let's unpack this and see how it can set you free to become the best version of yourself. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, said it best. You have power over your mind, not outside events. That's the heart of this principle. You can't change what's happened, your mistakes, your scars, your struggles, but you can control how you respond to them. Accepting who you are isn't about giving up, it's about taking charge. It's saying, these are my flaws, my past, my wounds, and instead of hiding them, I'm going to use them as the foundation for something stronger. That's where transformation begins. Think about it. The moments you'd rather erase, those failures, that loneliness, those times you felt less than are often the roots of your resilience. Take Nick's story, for example. As a kid, he grew up feeling isolated, always on the outside. That loneliness could have defined him, leaving him bitter or insecure. But when he chose to accept it, something shifted. He saw his solitude not as a curse, but as training. It taught him independence, reflection, and a depth most people never develop. What he once hid became his superpower. That's the paradox of acceptance. The things you're ashamed of can become the seeds of your greatness. I've been there myself. For years, I carried shame about a big mistake I made in my 20s, a career move that crashed and burned. I used to replay it, wishing I could erase it. But when I finally accepted it, I saw it differently. That failure taught me resilience, how to pivot, and how to trust myself again. It wasn't a dead end. It was a detour to growth. Accepting it didn't mean I was okay with failing. It meant I was ready to learn from it and move forward. This is what Stoicism teaches. Your flaws, your past, your pain, they're not chains holding you back. They're raw material for building a stronger you. Rejecting them keeps you stuck, pretending they don't exist. Embracing them, that's the key to transformation. It's like a sculptor working with a rough piece of stone. The cracks and imperfections don't ruin the art. They make it unique. Your story, with all its messiness, is what makes you powerful when you choose to work with it. Look at someone like Oprah Winfrey. She's open about her tough childhood, poverty, trauma, feeling unwanted. She could have let those experiences define her as a victim. Instead, she accepted them as part of her story and used them to fuel her mission to inspire and uplift others. Her pain didn't stop her. It shaped her into someone who connects with millions. That's not resignation, that's mastery. So, how do you apply this? Start with honesty. Take a moment to face something you've been avoiding. A mistake, a fear, a part of yourself you don't love. Write it down or say it out loud. This is part of me. Then ask, what can this teach me? How can this make me stronger? Maybe your shyness taught you to listen deeply, or a failure taught you persistence. Lean into gratitude for those lessons. It's not about loving your flaws, it's about seeing their potential. Here's my challenge for you. What's one part of your story you've been hiding, and how could accepting it help you grow? Drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear, and your courage might inspire someone else. If this resonates, hit that like button, subscribe, and stick around for principle number 7. We're building a life where your truth becomes your strength, one step at a time. Let's keep going. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're wrapping up our journey through the 7 Stoic principles with the 7th, and it's a powerful one. Your pain can be your power. Life has a way of hitting us hard: betrayal, loss, failure. And in those moments, it feels like the world is crumbling. But the Stoics teach us that pain, as tough as it is, carries a hidden gift. The chance to forge resilience, uncover strength you didn't know you had, and rewrite your story into something stronger. Let's dive into this and see how your struggles can become your greatest asset. Pain isn't something we choose, but how we respond to it is. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus, who was born a slave and endured unimaginable hardship, said it best. We cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them. That's the core of this principle. Pain, whether it's a broken heart, a career setback, or a personal betrayal, is neutral. It's not good or bad until you decide what it means. Let it define you as a victim and it becomes poison. Reframe it as a teacher and it turns into power. That choice is where your strength lies. Take John's story, for example. He had it all: wealth, a thriving business, respect, until bankruptcy stripped it away. For months, he was lost in despair, barely able to get out of bed. But something shifted when he stopped fighting the pain and started asking, "What can I learn from this?" The ruins of his old life became the foundation for a new one, built on humility, wiser choices, and a deeper sense of purpose. Years later, he said, "I'd never want to go through that again, but I'm who I am because I did." His pain didn't end him, it shaped him into someone stronger. I've had my own version of this. A few years ago, I went through a tough breakup that left me questioning everything. I felt like I'd lost a piece of myself. But instead of letting that pain define me, I leaned into it. I asked, "What's this teaching me about who I am and what I value?" It was brutal, but it forced me to rebuild my confidence, set better boundaries, and focus on what truly matters. That pain became a turning point, not a dead end. It's not about pretending it didn't hurt, it's about using the hurt to grow. This is the Stoic paradox. You can regret what happened and still be grateful for what it taught you. It's not about glorifying suffering or saying it was meant to be. It's about recognizing that pain, when faced with courage, can carve meaning into your life. Think of Nelson Mandela. He spent 27 years in prison, enduring unimaginable hardship. Yet instead of letting that break him, he used it to fuel his fight for justice and equality. His pain didn't just shape him, it changed the world. That's the power of choosing how you respond. So how do you apply this? When pain hits, and it will, don't run from it, sit with it. Ask, what can this teach me? How can this make me stronger? Maybe a failure shows you what you're truly capable of. Maybe a loss teaches you to cherish what remains. Try this. Write down one painful moment from your past and name one strength it gave you. It could be resilience, empathy, or clarity. Then lean into gratitude for that lesson. It's not about erasing the hurt, it's about transforming it into fuel for growth. Here's my challenge for you. What's a painful moment you faced, and how could reframing it as a teacher change your perspective? Drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear your story, and it might inspire someone else. If this resonates, hit that like button, subscribe, and let's keep this Stoic journey going with more videos to help you live with strength and purpose. Your pain doesn't have to be the end. It can be the start of something powerful. Let's keep building. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. We've reached the end of our journey through the 7 Stoic principles, and I'm excited to wrap it up with a powerful conclusion that ties it all together. This is about discovering true strength, the kind that doesn't shout for attention or crumble under pressure. It's built quietly through discipline and self-mastery, and it's the key to a life that's stronger, calmer, and freer, no matter what chaos the world throws at you. Let's dive in and see how these Stoic lessons can shape your path forward. The Stoics, like Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus, taught us that real victory isn't about conquering others or chasing external validation. It's about mastering yourself. Think about it. The world is loud, constantly pulling you into its drama, social media feuds, workplace stress, endless comparisons. But true strength, it's silent. It's showing up every day, doing the hard work of controlling your impulses, facing your fears, and letting go of distractions. It's not about proving you're better than anyone else. It's about being better than you were yesterday. That's the Stoic way, and it's a game changer. Let me share a personal story. A while back, I was caught up in the noise, obsessed with what people thought, stressing over things I couldn't control. It was exhausting, like running a race with no finish line. Then I started applying Stoic principles, focusing on what I could control: my effort, my attitude, my choices. I began small, writing for 10 minutes a day, staying calm in tough conversations, choosing gratitude over frustration. Over time, those quiet actions built a sense of peace and strength I didn't know was possible. I wasn't louder or flashier. I was freer, unshaken by the chaos around me. This is what Stoicism promises: a life where your peace doesn't depend on the world's approval. It's about consistent, quiet actions, those moments when you choose discipline over distraction, purpose over anger, growth over comfort. These choices are like bricks, building a foundation for a life that's not just strong but calm and free. Look at someone like Keanu Reeves. He's beloved not for chasing fame but for his quiet integrity, living simply, staying kind, and focusing on his craft despite personal tragedies. That's stoic strength in action, steady, humble, and powerful. The reward of this path isn't just feeling good, it's living with purpose. Every time you choose to focus inward, to act with intention, you're crafting a life that's yours, not dictated by the noise outside. It's not easy, especially in a world that celebrates flash over substance. But the Stoics remind us, the greatest triumph is over your own doubts, fears, and distractions. When you master those, you become unshakable. So, how do you make this real? Start today. Pick one small action that aligns with your values. Maybe it's saying no to a distraction, practicing gratitude, or working toward a goal without needing applause. Ask yourself, what's one thing I can do today to strengthen my inner world? It doesn't need to be big, it just needs to be yours. Over time, those quiet moments add up, creating a life that's not just surviving but thriving. Here's my challenge for you. On a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being strongly disagree, 5 being strongly agree, how much do you connect with this Stoic idea of building strength through quiet discipline? And what's one moment in your life where you felt pushed by fear or anger versus pulled by purpose? Drop your answers in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts, and I bet others will find inspiration in your story. If this series has sparked something in you, hit that like button, subscribe, and check out our other videos for more ways to live with purpose. Your journey to Stoic strength doesn't end here, it's just beginning. Let's keep building, one quiet step at a time.